Hi folks, Slick Slices here. Just going to show you this little Kershaw Japanese-made lockback knife that I picked up recently from Kongi's Knife Sales. I was actually buying something else, but I just saw this in his inventory, and it reminded me of something. For many years, I have been I was a casual knife collector. I was reminded yesterday that I got the oldest knife that I still have in my collection that I bought new was in 1974. For my 8th birthday, I bought what I would have called then a pocketknife, which is the Royal Navy clasp knife. And so my knife collecting dates back to a little bit before that, but that sort of time. But I was never, I never knew anything about knife steels or anything. But back about 25 years ago, I bought this little knife for myself to carry day in, day out. Now, I think it's either the smallest or the second smallest in a range of silver and then different birds. I don't know who made these. Gerber Sakurai probably, but it's not for certain. Certainly made in Seki City in Japan, in 440 stainless steel, which to me seemed like a premium at the time. But at the same day that I bought that, I bought a knife for my wife to carry. Now, she worked in Marks and Spencer's, which is a chain of shops in the UK. They used to always be retailers, clothes retailers, but they also have quite a big food retail part, and she worked in that. So she would quite often have to open packets of money or packets of cases of food and things. So I bought her not this knife, but one very similar. It was a Kershaw, but it had a black rubber handle. Unfortunately, somebody else at her place of work liked it too, and she'd lent it to somebody, and they didn't give it back, and then they couldn't tell her who they'd given it to, and all of that usual sort of nonsense. So I bought her a replacement for it, which was this. The first iteration of the Spyderco Ladybug. Now, this was definitely made by Gerber Sakurai. My suspicion is that all three of them were. It seems the most likely outcome. But anyway, I bought her that. I carried this one for many years. It was all I needed of a knife. It felt solid because it was stainless steel. I believe that the Kershaw that I bought my wife was a little bit cheaper, and I know for certain that the Spyderco was a lot cheaper than that, because I bought the Spyderco because I wasn't buying her another one of these because she would only lose it. So this must have been moderately expensive, but the Silver Tern was oddly the most expensive of the three. I suspect now the prices would be reversed. As I say, this is nothing special. It's made by Kershaw, and it's called the Silver Spur 2. I don't know, silver seems to be a recurring theme here. And on the back it says 2825, which I believe is a model number, Japan. It's a nice little, I think, a hollow ground blade with a little swedge on the back of it. It's polished-ish, but not as shiny as the Silver Tern was. The handle on this is a sort of, I think it's aluminium. It's something relatively light in weight, and we have but it's self-supporting, there's no liners, and then it just has a stainless steel back lock. There is a little hole there for the a lanyard, and it's in a fairly traditional little shape. It's not the highest quality of knives, but it's not rubbish either. This would have been perfectly usable little knife to put in your pocket, and it's much lighter than, say, the Silver Tern. It's not as light as the little Spyderco, but the Spyderco is it's one of these one-piece injection molded knives. One could call it an integral. It's in that style of knife that Blackie Collins of Gerber invented and took out to Japan to have made, and they now make them back in America. Bizarre twist of fate. Funnily enough, the ones made in Japan were and remain the best quality of them. The ones made in America now are not the best. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that. It's just a little thing that came along and I snapped it up. Didn't cost very much money. I did it as a trade anyway. Yeah, I just thought I'd show you. It's a little bit of my knife history. I'll still keep a lookout for one of the little the rubber handled ones. This is nicer than the rubber handled ones, but the rubber one is just the one that we actually owned and used. My wife still has a Spyderco, but she has the Spyderco Squeak these days in pink, because of course I couldn't send her out with one of these. She might get arrested as a terrorist or something, carrying her weapon of mass destruction. But well, there we go. Anyway, there we are. Nice little knife. I hopefully will see you all again soon. If you like your stuff, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any thoughts on these little Japanese knives, then please leave a comment, and remember to subscribe and ring the notification bell. There are other knives coming along. I have a couple of Almar knives which I may even film just now, so they might even be ready to go out. Anyway, thank you very much. See you all again. Bye.